1 in 2 Americans is either struggling with alcohol or enabling someone to do so. On this episode of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show, we're going to be talking about the enablers.
The views expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
When the static of life fills your brain and the world seems a little too insane, just twist that dial, don't hesitate. There's a haven where good vibes await. Tune in and Take 12 for some joy and cheer. It's the sound of hope coming in crystal clear. Recovery talk, the music so grand, a beacon of light, a helping hand.
Well, greetings one and all, and welcome to another fine episode of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show with my co-host, from Raw Recovery and Trudging Together, Dion Miller, from Huntington Beach, California, and Came to Believe Recovery, Roger McDermott.
Hello.
Our intern Kat is back from Japan.
Hello.
Yes. And our very special guest, welcoming him back to the show for the third or fourth time here, author Jonathan Harrison, talking about alcoholics and their enablers. Now, we had him on here a couple weeks ago talking about alcohol. We're going to talk about the enablers of the alcoholic today and some interesting things that you may not know. Of course, we have the Make Believe Recovery Orchestra and a lot of fun on today's show. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so some of you may realize, my control panel's acting up. May realize that you're not seeing video, you're just seeing the graphic, and we're going to have a couple different graphics come up during the show. I'll explain that here in a second, but the reason for that is anonymity. And our very special guest, author Jonathan Harrison, is on the show today, and we're honoring his anonymity as we would any of you that wish to come on the show that would prefer not to be videotaped. If you're hesitating asking to come on the show because of that, do not worry. We will honor your anonymity however you would like it, presented or not presented. Yeah. There you go. So there is that there. So like I said, we're going to be talking about enablers and enabling, and maybe some stuff about genetics. Some very interesting things on this episode of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show. So Jonathan, welcome back, my friend. Dion, Roger, Kat, it's good to have you all with us. Before we get into this thing too far, we do want to have a little bit of fun. Let's see what we got going on next. It's true or false.
Hey there, friends, gather round. It's Muncie the man with stories profound. We're diving into tales, both wild and bold. Time to play true or false. Let the fun unfold.
Bum, bum, bum. That's right. It's time to play true or false, where we try to stump the co-host and the intern and those of you listening to the show. If you've got a story that you would like to try to stump us with, if you do stump my co-host and or my intern, what we'll do is we'll send you one of our little the lie is dead, we do recover bracelet thingies. And Dion's going, I don't have one of those yet. And And the book Basic Prayer and Simple Meditation. This is Recovering Alcoholic Talks About Beginning Spirituality by Mike D. If you can stump us. So the email address is take12radio, that's TAKE, the number 12, radio, at comcast.net. Send us a story, and we'll try to figure out if it's true or false. Now, you got to tell me whether it's true or false, because I'm not playing. Okay, so I got to know. All right. So this is a story that actually comes in from somebody who has chosen to be anonymous, except for to me. And so I can send them their prize if they stump you guys. Okay. All right. Here it is. Are you ready? You got your true or false hats on. Here we go. One Christmas Eve, a family in Vermont woke to find their tree, an ordinary fir they cut themselves, slowly rotating in place like a slow-motion ballerina. You got that picture in your head? The tree is turning all by itself. Terrified, they checked for drafts, loose floorboards, anything, but nothing. Only later did they discover the tree had frozen solid during the haul home, and as it thawed overnight, a thin layer of ice under the trunk acted like the perfect tiny turntable, powered by the gentle warmth of the wood stove. For 3 hours, their Christmas tree gracefully spun on a puddle of melting ice as if showing off. Now, you need to decide, I'll start with you, Kat, first, if that is fact or fabricated. What do you say?
Fact.
Okay. Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, she says fact. All right, Jonathan, you're next. You think that story is true or false?
I think that's true.
Okay.
Yes.
Dion?
I'm just going to play devil's advocate and go with false, so we got one in there.
Okay. Okay. What do you think, Roger?
I'm working that through my mind, and I can't fix it, so I'm going false.
You're going to go false? Okay. So Jonathan said true.
No, it's true.
Okay. And Kat, you said true?
I said true.
You said true. And Dion and Roger said false, right? Well, 50% of you are correct.
Wow.
Those of you who said it was false are correct. That is a fabricated story made up. Yes, indeed. So,
That's too
Roger
bad.
Rock.
so Jonathan and Kat, you get the fluff machine. Yeah.
Wow, stumped on the first question.
Okay.
Yeah. So because half the group here got it, was stumped, we're going to go ahead and send our anonymous friend the book and the bracelet. Yeah.
Yay.
Great story.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good
yeah,
story.
Yeah. But you know what? As I thought about this, I could see where this could happen. It's possible, right? That something weird like that could happen.
I could see it sliding, but not spinning.
I could see
Well,
it spinning.
there's something in a tree called a cambium, CAMBIAM, and it is the part that moves the nutrients from the leaves to the ground, and from the ground to the leaves, and then it's a two-lane highway between the leaves and the roots. And I was thinking about, well, let's see, if the cambium was frozen, it would not be active. And so the thing that changed was the cambium. And so I thought, well, that's probably possible, because most people don't realize that the parts of a tree certainly do move. And they're not passive.
You know, I am not a bit surprised that you know that.
Nor am I.
It sounds like Jonathan.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's close out true or false, and let's get to our topic for this week. Oh, brother.
Let's take a chance. Dive into the stories. Let your instincts dance. Fiction or fact, just guess what you see. Step right up now. Come play with me.
Now, we go, blowing stuff up again. All righty. You have tuned into the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show. If you would like to participate in listening to our plethora, I like that word, don't you guys? Plethora. Our plethora of recovery workshops and shows. We literally have thousands of them, all on take12radio.com. on your internet dial. You can type in the number 12 or the word, doesn't matter, I'll take you to the same place. La-di-da-di-da. Okay, coming up on Wednesday's show on the Came to Believe Recovery podcast with Tom Williams, the CEO of Came to Believe Recovery, we're going to be talking about love languages. We're going to be referring to a book that talks about the 5 love languages, and maybe what love language do you speak? We'll see what happens. That'll be on Wednesday's show. And then hopefully, if I can get Tommy Buddha to come off the stage. This guy, he's a jazz blues guy, right? He does like 27 gigs a month or some crazy thing. I mean, it's just insane with this guy. If I can get him to slow down for a minute, we may have a show for you on Buddha Time on Friday. We'll have to see. But today's show, we're welcoming back author Jonathan Harrison. He has written a book. He's written a few books, actually, and this one is entitled Alcoholics and Their Enablers. Discover the science behind lasting sobriety. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had Jonathan on, and we talked about some stuff about alcohol, the actual substance, and some of its properties and what it does to the brain and all that kind of thing. We want to delve into this other part of the book, though, the enablers, alcoholics and their enablers. So if you're wondering if you're an enabler, you probably are. If you're wondering it. You know how we say, people, non-alcoholics don't go to meetings to find out if they're alcoholics. That's usually an alcoholic, right? Well, people that wonder if they're enablers, they may be enablers just by the fact that they're wondering. But maybe not. We'll see here. But is there more to being an enabler than just being codependent, right? That's a word we use a lot in the recovery world. There may be some science behind this stuff, right, Jonathan?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So before we get into this, there's some amazing accomplishments that this book has already, some bumps that this thing has already traversed, right? I mean, it's moving forward on Amazon. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, there are literally hundreds of books written about the psychopharmacology, what the division that Amazon makes, and about what happens to the brain from different chemicals and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we launched this book only 8 weeks ago, and thanks to Monty and his crew, Amazon has our book listed as number 6 in psychopharmacology at this particular moment. Point number 2, the book is already, last week it was being sold in Japan. Okay, Kat, it's being sold in Japan and in Germany. It's also being sold in the Netherlands and in France and in Indonesia. And it's being sold all over the world by Amazon. And believe it or not, this podcast is one of the main reasons why it has been so successful.
Wow.
I mean, you folks are wonderful. And I'd like to give a little shout out to Amazon right now. Amazon has treated us like royalty.
Awesome.
They have more versions of this book than you can imagine. They even have a version that is a lot more pages that you get for the same money, but it explains like a glossary, certain words inside the book. It has 18 now reviews from some very high hitters who are experts in this field, and they're all 5 stars.
Wow.
That's amazing because sometimes even some of your more popular books don't get any more than like 5 reviews because people just don't want to take the time to do it.
Yeah,
So
well, in 8 weeks we have 18 reviews.
that's amazing. And you said it's rated number 6 in this field, and that's amongst thousands of authors, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
That's right. And it's in Canada. It's all across the United States. The book emphasizes that for every person with alcohol use disorders, that's what
Right.
doctors call this, there are about 4 enablers. There are 4 people who have to take up the slack. And so, with 10.5% of the people in the country suffering from alcohol use disorder, if you superimpose that 4 enablers, like we made the point last time I was on the air, about half the country could read this book and get something from it. And so it becomes essential meaning for an estimated 120 million people at least in the United States at this point. So shout out to Amazon. They've done an incredible job, and they've put it all over the world for us.
So in fact, what we want to make sure people know here, and if you're watching on YouTube, the graphics coming up right now, from today, when this show airs, to December 15th, the Kindle version of this is only 99 cents.
99 cents.
99 cents. Amazon's doing that because of the success of this thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a left-handed compliment, I mean, usually you think that something is worth what you pay for it, but I spent 15 years writing this book.
Wow.
Wow.
And I have 2 incredible editors. Mel Cohen, my publisher, is one of the editors, and a lady named Kirsten, who is the medical expert who actually brought all my studies up to date to 2025 that I referenced in the book.
Wow.
And so, Kirsten, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kirsten.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you've
thank
taught
you,
me
guys.
more about my own subject than I could ever imagine.
That's great.
So, and I'd like to give a basic kind of a reading from that I've chosen very carefully from one of our Al-Anon readers. And this is on the subject of detachment. And it's what this whole show is about, is detaching from an alcoholic. And I'd like to ask those of you who are actually reading or watching this show to close your eyes. Monty and I talked about this before this opening. 85% of your brain is freed when you close your eyes. Okay? That's not an accident that some of the greatest musicians on earth are blind.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I won't close my eyes because I'm going to read this thing.
But we will. We will.
Okay. Never let yesterday use up today. Boundaries are the issue. How often we talk about boundaries. Most often, these are boundaries between us and other people. Where does my responsibility end and yours start? But there are other boundaries, mental boundaries. One of them is getting lost in yesterday. Yesterday's fears are overrun, the boundary of today like cattle through a broken fence. We can lose sight of the difference between what happened yesterday and what can happen today. We can allow yesterday's resentments to become today's facts or yesterday's expectations. Okay? Expectations. Those can become today's prophecies. Yesterday's people may become the people we deal with today. Our parents become our partners, or maybe if we're lucky, they're friends. Patterns between our mothers and their family systems become the expected norm for today. Now, we talked a lot about in the last interview about genetics. It is unfair to do this to those around us right now. Today is like a bright new coin. It is potential waiting for us to decide what we shall spend it on. We have a choice. As always, yesterday's hurt or today's celebrations. And then the quote for the day is, today's possibilities need not be limited by the past. I choose to be happy and healthy for the next 24 hours. Thank you. So this is about detachment, folks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So if I may, kind of a segue into this thing a little bit. I want to break down a little bit of what we're about to read from this book. We're going to be talking about chapter 16, entitled "When You're Torn Between Two Worlds," and we're going to be talking about. Jonathan's going to be sharing with us some of the stuff that's going on in the enabler, and we talked off the air the other day. There's several genetic makeup and codes in here, but the first three, those are the ones we're looking at, right, Jonathan?
yes,
The first three. So the way he's broken this down, let me just say this, and each one of these is how common is this, what it does, what you'll notice, talking about what the enabler would notice, how this affects you, the enabler, and the enabling trap. And you've done this with each one of these, which I just think is fascinating. And so, yeah, let's talk about those, Jonathan. The first one here is the anxiety gene. You telling me there's a genetic code for the anxiety gene? Well, I'm not surprised.
Yes, there is. And the astounding thing is that 3 to 5 people out of every 10 people have that gene that's mutated, and they're and okay, let me tell you about GABRA2. It's one of 19. Now, all the GABRAs are off switches. Okay?
What does that
So
mean?
when you go night-night, you go to sleep at night, if you have a healthy GABRA2 that's not mutated, you can go to sleep in about 20 seconds.
That sounds nice.
It sounds very nice.
That sounds nice. But that pesky GABRA2, if it's mutated, and in, like I say, 3 to 5 people out of 10, it is mutated in the American population.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you'll notice that, for example, you as an enabler will notice that the alcoholic feels anxiety. They're famously honest, and they're drinking to relieve their anxiety. Okay, and they can't relax without alcohol, and they seem much calmer when they're drinking. Okay, you see this because you live with them every day. Maybe you sleep with them. Okay, okay, all right. Well, how does this affect you? Well, you might start providing alcohol to keep them calm.
Oh, so you're contributing to the false solution. You're going to help them stay calm by providing
That's exactly right. That's right. So, you avoid bringing up stressful topics. We call that in Al-Anon walking on eggshells.
Yep.
Okay, so you're walking on eggshells. Now, what is the enabling trap here? Well, you think that you're helping by reducing their stress. You may find yourself diffusing all of these, well, you're ending arguments. You're covering their responsibilities.
it. Yeah.
You're trying to keep them calm. Well, here's the problem. What you're actually doing is you're preventing them from learning healthy coping skills.
Yep.
Okay? There was a wonderful quote from C.S. Lewis, the wonderful British, C.S. Lewis, the guy, and he said, "Pain is God's megaphone."
Jonathan, I'm thinking about as you were reading this and sharing this with us. Some people are listening, going, "Yeah, well, yeah, I'm past that. I don't buy my husband booze or anything." But you know what? It's interesting because I remember my grandfather who drank at least a quart of vodka a day for years, and he had him hidden all over the house, right?
Right.
My dad would constantly go through the house and find them and get rid of them, which, by the way, can be another enabling thing to do.
Yeah,
pouring it out, right? But he would do that. But then my uncle, my dad's brother, would come along and buy him the booze.
Oh boy.
For this very reason, so he didn't have to deal with my grandpa when he was so angry, and my dad caught him doing this, and they had this knockdown, drag out verbal confrontation with each other, and what you actually saw, which I didn't know at the time, I was too young, but what you're actually witnessing was both of them were enablers, and they were fighting amongst themselves. Right. But my uncle really did believe he was helping Grandpa. He really believed it.
It was an act of love. It was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
and
But
how
really
they were arguing over who was the better enabler.
Yes, absolutely right.
Very good, Dion. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's the anxiety gene, GABA 2, or GABRA, GABRA.
And now let me ameliorate this just a little tiny bit. Charles Darwin was a wonderful guy that gave us Darwinism, and he talked about natural selection.
Yes.
That was one of my specialties in college, and it was at the cellular level. But there's something called selective pressure. And selective pressure is a very important thing to humans. And one of the reasons that we've survived so well, and we've gone from 1 billion people in 1943 to 8 billion people in 2025, right? We've gone to 8 times more people on the earth right now than 1943. Well, one of the reasons why is because of this mutation, and believe it or not, there are some mutations that are helpful. Okay? Because of this mutation, 3 to 5 people think things through, and they usually do it at night when they go to bed, before they go to sleep. Because the turnoff gene, the GABA2 gene, in 3 to 5 people, and these are your enablers, folks.
Yeah.
These 3 to 5 people are that, right in the middle of that is 4. These 3 to 5 people lay there on that pillow at night and try to figure out how to correct alcoholism in someone they love.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they obsess.
They obsess.
Ooh.
But if they're lucky, just like the alcoholic, they'll hit a bottom. There'll be something that happens in that family that says, this is terribly wrong. This is too painful to continue with this way, living the way we are. And they ask for help. They ask for help.
Some don't, though,
And-
right, Jonathan?
I'm sorry.
Some don't. Like in the big book that talks about the alcoholic, he may go on to the
Yes.
bitter end.
Yes.
The enabler may
Yes.
go on
Yes.
to the bitter end.
Well, here's the difference between the alcoholic and the enabler. The alcoholic recognizes that it's a life and death issue.
Ah,
Okay?
yeah.
The Al-Anon very often, and I've seen this happen so many people, for every guy who's asked me to be his sponsor, okay? I've only been able to get about 1 in 4 through the 12 steps.
Yeah.
They get to that 4th step, and they say, Jonathan, I'm really busy on my job.
I didn't hate anybody. I was never angry.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it never got that bad, and well, that is the problem. And here's what they find. Before they find total recovery, they find another R, relief. They come to a few Al-Anon meetings, and they do what we call the Al-Anon waltz, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
They do steps 1, 2, and 3, and they get some relief. But they don't stay long enough to come to full recovery.
Right. So they don't experience a state of recovered. No.
No, they don't. And if what happens, of course, is there's this thing that we have, and I believe at the cellular level, it's at the genetic level, and that's why we don't pass judgment on people like this. They believe that they now can solve it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now I understand it. I got the 12 steps. Yeah, I did that. I read the book, blah, blah, blah. And so now I don't need to go back to these meetings. Right?
Right.
And they do
Wrong.
that after 4 steps.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, they do, I was asking if they do that after 4 steps.
Usually
Well-
before usually at step 3, right?
Right.
Yeah. Or they'll scratch the surface of step 4 and they'll, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I tell you, I've told my story a lot of times in mental hospitals and to treatment centers and all kinds of places. And every time I tell my story, I have to have a little bit of sleep loss first. I think things like, I'm not going to tell them that. Oh no, I'm not going to admit that. Oh no, I just can't possibly say that in public. And so I've got this disease just as much as anybody. I just have the enabler disease. Okay.
So we probably, because we're at a point in the show where we probably need to move on to the second one.
Yes.
This is the can't say no gene.
Yes. Now, luckily, only 2 out of 4 out of every 10 people have this one.
Only 50%. Okay.
Only
Yes.
50%. Yeah, it's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
right, right. And we as neighbors always notice that, the alcoholic's having a lot of problems with self-control. I mean,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
yeah. This person just embarrasses the heck out of me every time we go to a party or whatever, and they can't get enough, and they can't say no, and their only word that they know is more, and so and here's the problem. The problem is the only word that we enablers know. If you want to put an enabler in one word, the word is others.
Yeah.
The word is others. I used to go into a room and count the number of people there, and I always come up one short because I didn't count me.
I like that. Jonathan, you say something in your book on under the category of how this affects you, talking about the can't say no gene,
Right.
that I found very interesting. You say you're meaning the enabler, constantly surprised by their choices.
Voices.
So
Yes.
even though you see them doing the same behavior over and over and over and over and over again, you're still surprised each time, right?
Yeah.
And it's like
that Charlie Brown with the football,
right.
It's like, oh my gosh, she did it again,
So is that in your experience, is that primarily because the enabler keeps wishing that maybe this time it won't be like that?
Precisely.
Right. So I'm going to tell you.
Precisely,
I'm going to tell you a little story about I went to go see at the time we were dating, my now wife, right? And I was in the throes of my addiction, and while I was over at her apartment, I very carefully picked up her checkbook and stuck it in my back pocket. She saw me walk out the door with the checkbook in my back pocket, and she went to reach for it, and she was paralyzed. She couldn't pull it out of my back pocket. She couldn't say anything to me about it because she believes in her heart of hearts this wasn't really happening, not this time. And she was surprised when her checks came back bouncing all over the place. Right?
Wow.
After
called
evidence before millions of times that was going to happen, she was still surprised. That's this, isn't it?
That's it. That's it. That is precisely what this is, and it's not a river in Egypt. It's called denial, right? I mean, that's exactly what it's called. And here's what you think is: you think that you're protecting them from those bad decisions, those bad choices. You think as an enabler, look, I don't mind calling her boss and telling her that I'll just say she has the flu.
Right. Because I don't want her to look bad. I don't want him to look bad.
In front of
Right.
her boss,
Right.
but she chose to drink all night last night, and so she can't make it to work. And so what I have to do is call her boss and say, listen, Charlie, my wife's kind of got the flu this morning, and she's kind of throwing up and everything. He says, well, okay, don't worry about it, Jonathan. Don't worry about it.
Who
So
are we
I
really
covered-
protecting, Jonathan? Who are we really protecting? Do we think we're protecting them, but we're really trying to protect ourselves?
Well, that's true too. We're trying to do that. And this is a very selfish program. It is, and we in Al-Anon are selfish people. We go to these meetings to stay sane.
Yeah.
How does it protect yourself?
I'm sorry.
Kat said, how does this protect yourself?
Well,
Or is it just that's what we think we're doing?
yes, yes. Here's the problem is enablers find conflict an anathema. I mean, we will do almost anything we have to do to avoid conflict. Okay? And so conflict to us is poison, just like alcohol is poison to the
I
alcoholic.
see.
And you know, I was kind of a boxer and stuff, and my coach would blow the whistle, and then I got to go back to the corner, and he would wipe my face and say things like, you know, don't street fight this kid. He's faster than you are. and Jonathan, he gets a little tired with those 16-ounce gloves, and he drops his left hand after about 5 blows. So in this second round, just count to 5 and put him away with a right cross. Well, the ultimate conflict is to face a man for 3 minutes when he's trying to punch you in the face and you're punching him in the face. I mean, that's conflict. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
When I went to work for a pharmaceutical firm, I got to go out and be praised, get trophies, show sales increases. When I came home, it was time to go back in the ring.
Oh boy.
So I did everything I possibly could to avoid the conflict and the hurt that I knew would come from the alcoholic.
Wow.
Wow.
So here's what the thing is. The enabling trap is that you think you're promoting, that you are protecting them from bad decisions. And the impulsive relapses that catch you off guard are what is your pain. And you scramble to fix all of that as everything that you have. But the truth is that you are preventing them from facing the consequences of their own behavior.
So I'm going to say something here, and I know my wife won't mind me sharing it because she shares it all the time. She would do this to what she thought was protecting me and being a good biblical wife, supporting her husband, keeping him from a bad reputation, that kind of thing. And she was praying one day, God, I just don't know what else to do. And the Lord spoke to her, not audibly, but in her heart, and said, if you don't get out of my way, you are going to be guilty of killing him.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
my goodness.
And it was she had a light bulb moment, and she said, all right, God. And she stepped out of the way.
She got a
Right?
Wow.
And it was one of the things that contributed to saving my life. She got out of the way of the consequences. Because unless the consequences were going to happen, right, nothing was going to change.
Right.
Wow.
But she shared that with other people, other codependents, other women that she's worked with and known, you know. And that is a powerful thing. It gives me goosebumps even now.
Yes.
But to come to that realization that you're the problem. At the very least, you're part of it. And if you don't get out of my way, Marcia, I'm going to hold you accountable. Not Monty, you. Woo, baby.
I started this book in 2010 after I read the death certificate for my wife.
Wow.
And I read what the county doctor had written about, and he did not even say the word alcoholism anywhere in that description of her symptoms. But he described perfectly all the symptoms I put in the first part of my book.
Wow.
Wow.
And so I kept thinking all the way through those 15 years, somebody's got to tell the doctors. Somebody's got to tell the doctors.
Yeah.
Not thinking it might even be me.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Right.
And you have.
And
I want to let everybody know really quick here. We are talking to author Jonathan Harrison. The book is Alcoholics and Their Enablers. Discover the science behind lasting sobriety. And you can actually get a copy of this book on Kindle for only 99 cents from now until December 15th. Merry Christmas from Jonathan. And yeah. And so we encourage you to do that. Just go to Amazon, and all you got to do is type in Alcoholics and Their Enablers. It'll pop right up. And you can do that. Also, I want to make a personal request here. Once you've read this book, please write a review. Go on Amazon and write a review. That helps with the analytics. That helps get the word out about the book. And I know Jonathan would appreciate that very, very much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, do you want to go on to number 3?
Yes,
the
let's.
DRD2, nothing's fun anymore, Gene?
Yeah, we got about 10 we got about 10 minutes left here. Let's do DRD2, the nothing's fun anymore gene. You say 1 out of 2.
Uh-huh.
Out of every
10 people.
Out of every 10 people have this. Nothing's fun anymore.
Right. Well,
Roger, are you going to say something? You look like you were going to say something.
Yeah, this is interesting. So, thank you, Jonathan. So, I don't believe in coincidences, and yesterday I was in a big stag book study, and we read the story Crossing the River of Denial in the back of the 4th edition, which speaks directly to an alcoholic woman who dealt with all of these things. This morning I had the opportunity to lead a meeting, and I was supposed to come up with a topic. So driving there, I was asking God, what should we talk about? And he said awareness. And so listening to Jonathan, I am so aware of these genes, not knowing they were genes, but I'm so aware of them in my psyche.
yes.
And I'm so aware of them and how they operate, kind of after the fact. I always learn after the fact, seemingly.
Yes.
But it's like, you know what? If I was never able to bear the consequences of my actions, I never would have became the man that I am today. And likewise, I can't fix other people. So I'm really more into the fact that I let people be who they are and let God be God, and I don't try to fix anymore.
There you go. There you
I
go.
love
Roger,
this.
you have done a fabulous job of introducing this DRD2, because we have something in Al-Anon we call the 3 A's. Okay? They are awareness first, which you just mentioned.
Well,
Okay. They are, well, the awareness is critically important. Because, like Monty always says, we don't know what we don't know.
Yep.
Okay. And so the awareness is what drives us to go and ask for recovery. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so until you reach that bottom, until you have that horrible, like, you know, pain is God's megaphone, until you have that horrible experience, you won't go ask for help, and you'll surrender. Thibault wrote a beautiful essay on that, the difference between compliance and surrender. You know, compliance is like COM is with in Latin, and a plie for the women in the audience is a splitting of the legs in a ballet, right? And for you guys out there, you know what a pair of pliers is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that is a tool that most guys use, all the time.
Sure.
And so that is the way I remember the difference between compliance and surrender is Tebow's expert thing about that. So there is the awareness, and there is the the almost the authorization to do the thing that says you have permission. Okay, you have to have permission to do. And for we enablers, of course, we really need to have permission because we're all people pleasers, right?
Yeah.
We're all people pleasers, and we just can't stand it if somebody doesn't like us, And so we have to have the authorization. Now, I'm going to tell you there's another A, and it's called action. Well, action is what I used to, before I came into recovery, do first. I was not aware, and I didn't have authorization, but I just did it.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, that can get you into a lot of trouble. That can get you into a lot of trouble. But, let's go back to the genetics here, and because, quite frankly, that's where I'm most comfortable. All right.
So the 1 to 2 out of every 10 people have this. It's not fun anymore. And I want to expand on this one. Under the next bullet point, it says what it does. The brain's reward system doesn't work properly. So I remember. Oh brother, do I remember this? So at this time I'm using methamphetamine, right, to soothe my anxiety. The most anxiety-producing drug in the world. I'm using that to soothe my anxiety, and here I am going to the dealer's house saying, "You ripped me off. This stuff is no good." Right? No matter how much I used, nothing would happen. Well, the reason is I had depleted my dopamine. My body wasn't responding to it anymore. There was nothing wrong with the drug as far as like the chemical makeup of it. It was the same stuff I used the week before when I got so high. The guy wasn't ripping me off at all. But see, people get into gunfights over stuff like that, and they kill each other. Of course
they do.
Right? And they kill each other. Yeah. So it wasn't fun anymore. My body wasn't responding to it. And so then I went into a deep depression. Right? Mm-hmm. Which you talk about, what does the enabler notice? Yeah, you bet. What's wrong with Monty? He's so depressed. He's usually so up.
Right.
Yesterday he was running around painting the house. Today he can't even move.
Yeah, right. Okay, so what you do is you start planning every family event around the alcohol to avoid the boredom and the irritability
of the alcoholic,
because your husband is not making enough dopamine. All right.
So you're trying to do it.
You're trying to do it. So you actually plan all the social activities around the drinking, and you avoid anything that's sober. I've known alcoholics who say, I would never go to any restaurant that didn't sell booze. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go if they didn't have a bar.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Okay. So, but here's what is the problem is that you, the enabler, you think that the alcohol helps their depression, and you're actually preventing them finding a healthy source of joy. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so much joy out there in this world. It's unbeautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. But both the alcoholic and the enabler are victims of this DRD, which is it means dopamine reuptake inhibitor. So, in other words, the body has all these things that it tries to make homeostasis. And homeostasis biologically just means everything's okay.
Right.
I am happy, I am content, my belly's full, and my wife loves me and still believes half my lies, Okay, all right. So that's what homeostasis is to the biologist. Well, some people just don't have that homeostasis. And so if they've got a mutation on this DRD2, which, there are 5 different DRDs, and 1 and 5 turn on dopamine. 2, 3, and 4 turn it off. Okay? So genetically, we've got an on-off toggle switch for dopamine in our brain. The pleasure drug is available there for us unless we just wear it out.
Right.
Unless we just wear it out. And if it's mutated in that in one of those, DRD2, especially of the 2, 3, and 4, and actually the 3 and 4 both can be mutated as well, but the 2 is the bad guy. It's what I call the troublemaker gene.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing we can do about our genetics. Okay? There's nothing we can do about it, whether we're an alcoholic or an enabler. We have to accept that. But the other 50% are the choices we make, that kind of thing. Okay? So in other words, the social and cultural aspects of these 2 diseases are literally called comorbid diseases. Tendency is called, and alcohol and addiction are comorbid diseases. They both will kill you. I'd like to leave this thought with every listener of the over 5,000 people I know who are lucky enough to have this show.
Well, bless your heart.
Well, we have 3 C's also, okay, for the enablers. You did not cause it, okay?
Yep.
You did not cause it. There's a huge genetic part in this, and there was nothing you could do about that. You cannot control it. You didn't cause it, you cannot control it, and for goodness sake, you can't cure it.
Mm-hmm.
And once you accept that, once you are aware of that and you accept that, and then you can begin to take some action to go get recovery from your own enabling disease. And there's adult children of alcoholics. There is Al-Anon, which is the largest one.
Right.
AA, believe it or not, has turned loose 2,400 different organizations and given them permission to use the 12 steps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's even Chapstick Anonymous.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That's serious. For people that have a compulsive use or are actually eating of chapstick. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Chapsticks Anonymous.
I'm telling you.
Very specific.
But, and we laugh, and it is kind of funny. But the thing is, all these things that we talk about are symptoms of, but the core solution is the same, right? We have a God-shaped hole, and we need to fill it with God, not our own intellect.
Right.
We got to stop. It's like you said. We got to stop thinking that we caused it. That's pretty prideful, right? You're giving yourself a lot of power there. Oh,
yes.
I did this. Yeah, no, you didn't. I can control it. No, you can't. Well, I certainly can cure it if I just do better. No, you can't. Right? And wouldn't you say, Jonathan, that if I think I caused it and I can control it and I can cure it, that is pretty high and mighty?
That is what I call ego, and that stands for easing God out.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We do need to wrap it up. This has been fascinating, Jonathan. I want to remind everybody you can get the Kindle version of this for 99 cents until December 15th. The name of the book, again, is Alcoholics and Their Enablers. We'll have the links up here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. The author is Jonathan Harrison. Closing thoughts before we do our closing song. By the way, I'm going to warn you right now, the closing song is disturbing.
Oh.
But it's powerful, and we need to hear it. And before we get to that, Dion, do you have any closing thoughts for Jonathan?
First, Jonathan, thanks for coming on, taking your time with us. This is information that we need to understand. What I would probably say is, me being an alcoholic, I found that I had some codependency issues when I started sponsoring and things like that. So this book isn't just for the enablers out there; it's for the alcoholics too. So I would recommend you
absolutely
pick it up and read it. Some good information in there.
Roger,
Thank you.
Oh, Jonathan, I freaking love this. I just the three A's and the three C's. I love those kind of things because they make principles understandable for me, and I'm so aware of my issues that I want to authorize God to be the cure, and I want to ask him for help, and I want to accept the fact that he has all the answers. And if I do those things, then I'm in a good place. And what I find from doing those things is that then I have something to share that is appropriate for somebody who's new. I got them all, and they become not acceptable, which is another A. They're just not acceptable to me, and I know who the source is, and I know who the power is. So I love you, brother, and I thank you for all your research and what you share.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much.
And I want to ditto all that, Jonathan. You and I have become good friends. Your material has depth and weight, and that's what we need. I'm just listeners. Here's the deal, and I've said it a million times. You cannot fix what you do not acknowledge. In fact, you can't surrender to God what you are not aware that is in existence. So you've got to acknowledge it, right? This book may be the beginning of you acknowledging something that is very important for you to do in order for you to get well. Yeah. Comes back to the question we ask in Came to Believe Recovery all the time. How soon do you want to get well? How long do you want to stay sick?
Yes.
Do you want to actually recover?
Yes.
Yeah,
and not just find relief,
and not just find relief. Go to Amazon, type in "Alcoholics and Their Enablers" for 99 cents. You can download the Kindle version until December 15th. Please get a copy. I would recommend you get two hard copies of this book, one for you and one for a friend. Especially this time of year. This is a kind of a sketchy time of year for a lot of folks. Jonathan, thank you so very much, brother. We love you, and of course, you're welcome back anytime, my friend.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, this song is by Take 12 Recovery Radio's friend and recovery recording artist, Mr. Steve Dan Mills. This is a heavy song, but listen to it, take it for what it's worth. And then I'll be back with a real quick closeout. Here is Where Is My Child Tonight?
My heart is pounding and my stomach's in knots. My mind is racing faster with each tick of the clock. I believed him when he swore he'd never use that stuff again. But now his bed is so empty, and for days there's been no word from him. Where is my child tonight? Is he out on the edge? Is he out of his mind? I've done everything I know to do with all of my might. Where is my child tonight? I drove through the neighborhood and I walked those mean streets. I begged those using buddies for the secrets they keep, and I reached out at their signs and almost lost control. Now I question my own sanity as I search deep within my soul. Where is my child tonight? Is she out on the edge? Is she out of her mind? I've done everything I know to do, now I'm dying of fright. Where is my child tonight? I both wish and I wish not to hear the ring of that phone, with the news that he's alright, or with the news that she's gone. I am so powerless to change them, and I know now that it's true. I can't make it all by myself, oh Lord, won't you show me what to do? Where are our children tonight? Are they out on the edge? Are they out of their minds? We've done everything we know to do, Lord, show us the light. Where are our children tonight? I've done everything I know to do with all of my might. Where is my child? Where is my child? Where is my child tonight?
Mr. Steve Dan Mills. All right. If you're asking that question, where's my spouse? Where's my child? What can I do? I'm sick to death with worry and so forth and so on, and you've never reached out for help, please visit take12radio.com and click on the recovery resource link. We have tons of resources there for friends and family of the alcoholic or addict, as well as for those struggling with substance use disorder and, well, just a whole ton of stuff. We've got one of the largest, one of the biggest pages full of resources for you there. Certainly pick up a copy of Jonathan Harrison's book, Alcoholics and Their Enablers. Again, 99 cents for a Kindle download of that until December 15th on Amazon. A very special thank you to our guest, Jonathan Harrison, for all of his work and research and for his love of each and every one of us, because he truly does love and care for you. That's why he does what he does. Kat is back. Welcome back, Kat, our intern. Roger, thank you for being with us again. Dion, again, we'll see you guys on our next show as well. Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man along with the rest of the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we are wishing God's perfect serenity for you.
Don't let the weights of the past keep you down. There's a melody here to turn it around. In each story and song you'll find a friend, a chorus of courage that'll never end.
This has been a broadcast of Take 12 Recovery Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.
Those silly chickens and pigs.